Our next speaker's fun fact is that he has spent many long weekends together with me. And that's true. That's true. And Karen knows that, right? So our next speaker is Shawn. He is a seasoned personal trainer and entrepreneur. And the unique thing about what he does as a personal trainer is that he specializes working with people with major physical and cognitive disabilities. And so he has a great story of starting over that meshes his career, but also things that have touched his life. So please give it up to my friend and Green Bay Packer fan, Shawn True.
Okay, I kind of have it's funny when I finally figured out what George was trying to explain to me about the context of tonight. Starting over, I felt like I don't have a starting over tale because I felt like I've always just started over. My first day of kindergarten, my mom walked me half a block down. As soon as I got there, planned my escape, found myself out, went home, walked in, and only my mom could look at me and just had this look of like, what the fuck are you doing here? I just dropped you off. So that became this battle of wills. Public school, parochial school. Public school closes down. Back to parochial school. I hate this. Get me out of this place. Go to a public junior high, and then wound up in a public high school. Took me 10 years, so John Belushi has nothing on me. 10 years to get my degree. During that time, I did many things. My aunt owned still a bunch of daycares, and I had my own class of 4- and 5-year-olds, which was intimidating, but also it was a lot of fun. So I did that. Then I went to massage school, and then that got old because I just got bored and just never really felt like people are like, why'd you do massage? I don't know. Well, why did you get your degree in psychology? I don't know. Why did you go to 4 or 5 different colleges? I don't know. I don't know. I can give you a bunch of post hoc bullshit of stuff, but I don't know. Like I tell my wife when she's like, okay, where are we today? I'm like, I'm the jewel bag, just in the wind. Did you guys see American Beauty? Remember when the kid's filming the bag? And it's like, and then when I'm on 294 every day and I see a bag, I'm like, oh. I'm going to be the jewel bag. She goes, got it. Got it. So, and I'm not going to let my daughter's here, our younger daughter, and I'm really not nervous about talking in front of any of you. And I'm not really nervous, but I know I'm being judged. And if this goes shitty, I'm going to hear about it, and I'm going to get made fun of, and I will deserve it. Because it's great. We have competitions like it's who can land the best joke, who can land. That's just how we deal with life. Love you too. And she's here with a friend. What is it? It's a B, starts with a B? Brandon. Okay. Okay. So anyway, they drove up all the way from the country. We live way out in Batavia. I work at a little personal training studio in Glenview. And when I first started working here, people like, where are you from? I'm like, Batavia. Where's that? I'm like, it's almost in Iowa. And they're like, oh, okay. And like, no, fine. So anyway, but after I finished, my college let me back in for the second time after being removed. Finished, and then went right to grad school and also met my wife. So during grad school, I got a master's in counseling because I love understanding why people do the things they do. Why did that person do that? Why are they doing this? And I'm just a very curious person. I have a wide range of friends. I have a friend who's a missionary in the Dominican Republic, and, you know, like, we support her a little, and we're not religious. But I know she's doing pro-social things. She's helping people live a better life. So I know that she and her husband, and now their 2 children, they're doing good stuff. The other stuff, whatever. And I also have a friend on the other end of the spectrum who is, well, he's got to be like 70 now. I met him in Taekwondo, because after football in college, I had to do something. And then here comes this guy named Harold. Harold, do you know who Urkel? Remember Urkel? Yeah, Harold was what Urkel would have been if he didn't lift weights, as he is and got old. Harold was the nerdiest guy I've ever met. But he was so cool, and he had a doctorate in psychology. And I was like, oh, it's like, I want to learn, I want to talk to you. So I want to know, understand things. Well, he comes out one day to me, and he says, hey, I just want you to know I'm really nervous. I'm gay. I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh, okay. Remember, this was in Wheaton, so not, you know. No, I grew up in Glen Ellen. No, you know, that missionary went to Wheaton College. I have many friends. Yeah. So he did not feel comfortable. So he finally moved on, and he was starting over. So I went out and visited him in New York. He was living in Connecticut, some corporate. He gets paid like much money to teach executives how to get along. Yeah. So I went out visiting him, and as usual, I was late. I'm like, oh, I got to get to the airport. Dad, can you take me out? And I was like 25. And he drops me off, and my dad he taught sex ed for 40 years in high school. So he looks at me, he goes, Shawn, I just want you to know, whatever decisions you make, with Harold. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, Dad, I'm not gay. I'm just going out there to have fun. We're going to go Times Square. I've never been there. He's like, okay, I just don't care. Whatever. Right? All right. That's my dad. Like, he's awesome. So anyway, we went out there, and if you've ever been to a place called Monsters, or The Monster, I don't know, some famous gay bar in Soho or something like that. Anyway, whatever. I'm comfortable anywhere. I don't care. As long as people aren't like hurting people, that's fine. Whatever. So I find the bathroom. Of course, the men's line is really long, and there's no line in the women's. And there's a bunch of people playing piano behind me. And I look, and it's a bunch of drag queens. And they're playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And my first thought was like, God, how cliche. I'm like, come on, Raining Men, something. So I'm standing there in line waiting, all of a sudden the music stops, and I turn around, and they're all looking at me. And I gotta tell you guys, if there's nothing more masculine, like feel good, like a bunch of guys look, and they stop the show. Like, I felt like, all right, that's my one show stopping thing. So anyway, getting to, I had worked all these jobs, personal training, I didn't, the whole, I want to lose weight or I want to do that. I'm like, I don't know, don't eat less. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know. But when I started working up here, a guy showed up in his wheelchair. He was one of my first clients there. His name is Mark Steffen. And Mark wheels in. His dad brought him. And he looks at me and goes, hi, my name's Mark Steffen. I had a spinal cord injury. I want to get out of this wheelchair. I was in a wheelchair when I was a kid. I had a bad hip disorder. I'm getting the fuck out of this wheelchair. Can you help me? I said, I've never worked with never worked with anyone that's had a spinal cord injury, much less a stroke. And he goes, we'll figure it out. True story. And I was like, all right. So we started, and here we are. We're like about 14 years later. Still see Mark. He saw many different people, but when I met Mark, he was starting over again because he was in a wheelchair as a kid, and he's like, then he did Ironmans, marathons, and then had the bike accident, and then he's like, we'll figure it out, and now he's driving, he can walk with sticks. He's a 24-hour follower. When we first started, he started walking. I was his wingman. I'm still his wingman. I'm just always nervous he's gonna fall. And he's only fallen twice. I caught him like this, his arm, in a dip. And I looked at him like, if you wanted to kiss me, you could have just asked. He goes, fuck you, lift me up. It's like, all right. The second time was he was walking in. He was early, which he's never early. And there's this big bush right outside the door. And all of a sudden I hear all of everyone start screaming. And they're out there, and I hear my name called. I run out. There's Mark in that bush. And he's looking at him, and everyone's, oh my God, oh my God. And he's just like, and I'm like, I got real close, like, are you happy you got all the attention now? He goes, fuck you, lift me up. I'm like, all right. So I got him up. He was fine. But ever since then, Mark has introduced me to a lot of people, and I never knew a purpose or what I want to do, but I have for the last 15 years, and every time I meet a new client, I'm meeting them starting over. Whether they had a major accident or a stroke, I'm meeting them where they're starting over, and we build a relationship. So, that's, if anything I can give is just, keep working, keep trying to find your passion, and build relationships, pro-social relationships. And that's it. Thanks.
Are you ready?
Oh. Seriously? Well, I don't know. Well, everyone knows Van Halen's the greatest band ever. No one even, you know why you never hear about it? Because everyone just knows. But David Lee Roth's the biggest douchebag. He can't sing live. He's horrible. But he does this stuff on stage is just magnificent, especially in the 80s, which was like crazy. But that's like my alter ego. Dave Chappelle said something once that was really cool at his Mark Twain award-winning for a comedy. He was talking about his mother and said, you need to be a lion so you can be the lamb you are. And that really stuck with me because, like, my daughter said, like, I'm a big talker, big shit talker, but I've held newborn, I've massaged crack babies. I love, we're a baby family. We like babies, but that's where I get to be in, like Iceman, like the cool, like, oh man, I wish I could be cool like that. I wish I could be cool like that. So they're kind of like my projection of myself, my inner self. I don't know.